Let's talk about having fun in life. Life for most people these days seems to be like a very miserable experience. Look around and you'll see a lot of RBFs around, resting bitch faces, for apparently no obvious reason as to why this is so. In fact, most people seem to have the RBF no matter what the circumstances are. And most people seem to be having a miserable time in their lives, again, irrespective of the circumstances. And it's a kind of a mystery, maybe one of the grandest mysteries of the universe, as to why is this happening? And the answer is very obvious once you tune into a certain aspect of human experience, which is the inner world and the psyche, the psychological architecture or psychitecture of the human spirit and mind and soul. And what we start finding is that people are full of misconfigurations of patterns of the psyche, which lead towards crappy, dare I even say shitty, life experiences. They are completely independent from the circumstances that we find ourselves in. In fact, sometimes great circumstances can actually highlight the necessity for fixing up and clearing up the inner world psychological experience that we're having, which is again independent of the external factors. With modern technology, it seems to be the case that people are having increasingly more and more miserable lives and are not understanding why this is so. Of course, I'm recording this video for primarily YouTube purposes and the idea to put it out on YouTube. And I'm putting the videos out on the YouTube to remind everyone of these facts and these situations and conditions we find ourselves in, to inspire, put you in the spirit of moving away from those things which are making your life even more miserable. And one of the aspects that makes your life more and more miserable is the aspect of not really understanding the inner world and the inner self that is leading you and us to the miserable life experience. The modern devices completely focus us onto the object and external world. Even though those devices tend to be reflections of us, they are devices that still nevertheless objectify our existence into the device. So you are listening to this video from me, quote unquote me, but that me is not actual real me. It's the avatar of myself, and it's a pre-recorded video that I've made at some point. So at this very point when I'm recording it, it's absolutely true as to what I'm saying, but I'm subject to changing myself and my mind. So this may not so much be true in the future, although what I'm recording is evergreen subjects. The fact that we need to focus on our inner worlds to actually change the experience of our external worlds is evergreen truth. And the misery comes from within us, not from the outside. For example, right now, this branch of a tree is completely dry. Okay? Now, I could think of it as in, oh gosh, this tree is dry, what a miserable experience. a dry tree? Why isn't it green leaves and alive and all this kind of stuff? However, this is part of reality. My perspective on it is what I choose to have. It's my choice. And I actually just see it as nature, as opposed to being miserable about the fact that the tree is dry, or that branch of the tree is dry, and it's somehow imperfect. In fact, it's absolutely and utterly perfect. And when we realize that kind of way of being, we can sigh a breath of relief, because we can rest in the absolute perfection of life as it is, and we can enjoy, we can have fun with it. Life becomes ever-present, unquestionable, unconditional fun. Unconditional meaning it's irrespective of conditions. Conditions do not determine whether this life is fun or miserable. What determines it is my perspective on the circumstances that I'm in. Once we fix our perspective and the way we look at the world, we look from within ourselves, we start experiencing ever-present fun, bliss, joy, love, trust, happiness, enlightenment, reverence. And it's so beautiful. It's almost indescribably beautiful, even though I continue to find words to remind both myself and everyone else that the life of ever-present bliss is here for us and does not depend on any conditions or circumstances. It's unconditional bliss, ever-present, permanent bliss. This is what I've realized going through the Fresh Mind program, and you can do it too. If you're interested, reach out to me via freshmind.life, or just click the link in the YouTube description. Let's go.